As a wrestling fan, if you follow someone's channel, you may not know their complete and utter full history when it comes to them either being a fan of pro wrestling or just anything in general. So, for those who may not know, I started watching wrestling by the year of 2004 to kinda ish 2006 when we finally fully got a Foxtel. Weirdly enough, I did make a video talking about how I started becoming a wrestling fan on my original channel many years ago. It's on my original channel somewhere. But in this video, I'm not going to be talking about that, how I became a wrestling fan. You could always find that on my original channel, or I could find the video somewhere, link it in the description of this very video. No, today I'm going to be doing something that I thought about. And I thought it'd be a nice little series if people want to see me talk more about this. And that is how I became a wrestling fan. Not just a wrestling fan in general, but just a fan of the people that I like. So, if people don't know how I became a fan of a certain wrestler, then they can learn in this particular video on how I became a fan of certain wrestlers. Today's video's topic is going to be about my boy, my main inspiration. And my main inspiration for this video, my man, Randy Orton. The man with the 3 most destructive letters in all of sports entertainment. So, how did I get to know Randy Orton, and when did I become a fan of this guy? Well, I became a fan of him pretty much straight away, pretty much instantly. Because the very first pay-per-view I remember watching was the Royal Rumble 2004, and he started the Royal Rumble at number 2. And when I saw Randy Orton, and he had the Intercontinental Championship around his waist, I became a fan pretty quickly. He was in there for a very long time in that particular Royal Rumble, before he got eliminated by Mick Foley. I remember my brother telling me that I was actually very upset when Randy Orton got eliminated, because I was actually rooting for him because he made it so far into that year's Royal Rumble match. So, weirdly enough, I never saw Randy Orton's 2002 run and 2003 run. I mainly know his run and not even his run in 2004, and not even his run in 2005. Because as I said, I didn't fully start watching wrestling until by 2006, because that was when we finally got Foxtel and were able to watch it every single week. So, I never saw his original run when he first debuted in 2002, and I never saw his rise through evolution in 2003, 2004, and then through 2005. You know, it's weird. It's weird when I think about this, because I thought the Intercontinental title was the only title Randy Orton won. Yes, I saw him win the tag team titles with Edge in the Rated RKO, but I never knew he was a former world champion. The only reason, you want to know how I only knew Randy Orton was world heavyweight champion? Was from SmackDown vs. Raw, the very first SmackDown vs. Raw game. I didn't know he ever won that title in that game, because he is actually the default champion in career mode. In career mode, he's the default world heavyweight champion in that game. So I didn't even know he won the big belt, the big gold belt. I remember them going on about him being the youngest world champion in history, and then, yeah, he would never sniff that title again until 2011. So weirdly enough, I never knew Randy Orton was a babyface through 2004 well, mid 2004, well, basically SummerSlam, kind of like ending half of 2004 to the beginning of 2005, I never knew he was a face during that time period, because again, I didn't watch that time period. I saw Randy Orton in the Royal Rumble of 2004, and I started watching fully by 2006. I saw him win the WWE Championship when he injured John Cena. He then lost it to Triple H, but then he won it immediately back. And again, I remember his run with Edge as Tag Team Champion. But yeah, Randy, to me, when I saw him, he didn't really win many championships during his very early portions of his run. But then 2007, 2008, 2009 was really Randy Orton, Triple H, and John Cena. Like, they would always be in the title picture, which, I kind of got a little bit sick of that. Like, I wanted to see Randy Orton fight different people. But the mid-2000s, from 2008 and 9, was just mainly Randy Orton and Triple H and John Cena, always carrying the entire thing. Randy would get another run as WWE Champion by 2010, and that's when he turned face again, after the whole story with Legacy. I'm not gonna lie, I loved Randy Orton during his Legacy days in 2009. Everyone talks about how that was the best version of Randy Orton. Everyone talked about how the 2009 Randy Orton was the best version of Randy Orton. He was way more sadistic during that point. And that's kind of when he started using voices. That was kind of when he started using, I hear voices in my head, they come to me, they understand, they talk to me. Because during the early periods, I remember hearing him coming out to Burn in My Light, which that was my favourite song, because that was his theme song. But then when he got a new song, I was actually very upset he got a new song. When I heard him come out to a new song, I was like, oh man, why did he change his song? I liked his old one. But obviously, as you now know I love voices now. I got used to voices, and I now freaking love it. It's now one of my favorite theme songs of all time. But when he first debuted it, I really didn't like him using it at the start, because I really liked Burn in My Light at that time. But, obviously, I've now learned Randy Orton hated that song, and he prefers the song he has now. It's so bizarre to me, because here's the thing, I didn't know this, but do people remember Maven? Do people remember him? It's weird because his theme, Maven's theme, was also done by the same band that did Burn in My Light. So the fact that 2 times Mercy Drive did a theme song for Randy Orton and a theme song for Maven, which I believe Maven's theme was called Tattoo or something, whatever it was actually called, and both wrestlers say they hate it. I think that is so funny that Mercy Drive has 2 songs done by wrestlers, which are actually pretty good songs, but the wrestlers themselves say they actually really hate the song, which I think is really nuts. But yeah, Randy Orton during his 2009 era was peak Randy Orton. Many people talk about that being Randy Orton at his most peak. And then by 2010, Legacy started breaking up. Randy would then transition into a babyface, which that made me think that was the first time he was ever a face, because I never saw his 2004 face run. I never saw his face run in 2004. Yes, I have gone back and revisited some of the old stuff, because when the WWE Network was a thing, when we finally got the WWE Network, which I kind of wish we'd go back to that. I missed the WWE Network. But yeah, I kind of missed the WWE Network. I wish we got it back. But anyway, when I had the WWE Network, I actually went back and started watching some of the old Raws from 2004, 2003, to kind of see what Randy was doing during the periods when I wasn't really watching. And like, I didn't know he was a face in 2004 through 2005. So, I thought his 2010 face turn was the first time he ever went face. I figured he was probably a face during his debut year in 2002, but most people kind of start off that way, but then they eventually transition. Or sometimes people will start off as heels. Nowadays, a lot of wrestlers start off as heels. It's very rare you see people start off as faces, but mostly nowadays, you see wrestlers starting off as heels. Anyway, he got another WWE title run by 2010, and yeah, I liked his stuff. Yeah, I liked the 2010 stuff. He would then go to the time when he got cashed in on by The Miz. That was when I officially started my absolute distaste for The Miz. So for those wondering why I've never been a fan of The Miz, this particular reason is why. When he cashed in his briefcase on Orton in 2010 to become WWE Champion, that's when I had my total hatred and disdain for The Miz. For those wondering why I've never been a fan of The Miz, now you know why. Now you know why I've never been a fan of The Miz. And I still hold resentment to that to this very day, because I didn't think Miz was ready. Miz, to me, was never someone I could see as WWE Champion. And 2010 and through 2011 was the worst time periods. Though I love these particular time periods, one of the bad times during these periods was dealing with heel Michael Cole being obnoxious and annoying. That was the only... Well, Michael Cole being an obnoxious, annoying heel and his feud with Jerry Lawler and John Laurinaitis were one of the worst things were one of the most reasons why most people didn't enjoy the kind of tens era of WWE. So, I don't think they're as bad, but, you know, the heel annoying Michael Cole and John Laurinaitis being GM was definitely one of the more annoying periods for me. But yeah, and also I do remember Randy's feud with CM Punk. I did like that feud because CM Punk was the reason Randy cost him the title. Randy feuded with Miz for a while as well. Had to put him over about 3 different times. You know, isn't it ironic that Randy Orton has to put over guys who aren't really main event worthy? First The Miz in 2010 through 2011, and then Jinder Mahal in 2017. Man, Randy Orton always has to go through the shittest of things, putting over shitty wrestlers. Randy's always got to put over the shittiest of people, eh? But hey, he's a company guy, so you know, so the fact he's been there for so long, you know he's a company guy, and you'll always do what he's told. And does anyone remember the time that Randy Orton let Otis pin him to win the Raw Tag Team titles? I wonder how many people remember that. But yeah, but yeah, other than that, Randy Orton was... But during the later portions of Randy's career, I always felt him putting over some other younger guys I didn't have a problem with, unless I really felt they deserved the rub or not. But yeah, he had his feud with Punk in 2011, which I didn't mind, and then Randy Orton went over to SmackDown, and then he started his feud with Christian. I will always remember this SmackDown. When Randy Orton won the World Heavyweight Championship, it was me watching with my brother at the time. You know, my brother was watching at the time. My brother was a big Christian fan because of the Attitude Era. He's been around since the Attitude Era. I obviously loved Randy, and I will always remember that SmackDown where I was so happy to see Randy win the title, while my brother was so angry that Christian got screwed over because he just won the title and then he lost it in mere 7 days. So, and honestly, I didn't mind that feud between Randy and Christian. I thought it was a decent feud. especially their SummerSlam match in 2011, I really did enjoy that match. But yeah, Randy Orton has just always been someone I've really looked up to. You know, he's been that one guy that's really kind of inspired me to stay, you know, kind of be... You know, sometimes some people may think my mannerisms, some people, you know, during my times at schools and all that, a lot of people think sometimes I'd have the mannerisms of Randy Orton. The way I would walk, sometimes I would talk like him. Or sometimes if I was to get angry, I would lash out in very similar ways to how Randy would do it. So some people think I kind of... So some people, during my school years, would think I would get... Sometimes I would act like Randy Orton if I ever got upset about something or anything along those lines. I always thought that was pretty funny. Some people just really overtook things a bit too seriously, but hey, but hey, I don't have tattoos like he does, so yeah, so yeah, that's the only big difference between me and him. But other than that, yeah, Randy's always had a fantastic career, and I've stayed loyal to him for so long. I've always been loyal to him. And if it really wasn't for Randy Orton, I wouldn't be watching WWE to this very day. So, I look at Randy's career now as something that I want to just enjoy while he's still around. Because as the years go on, I know he ain't getting any younger. As the years go on, I know he ain't getting any younger, and I'm now starting to cherish Randy Orton being there as much as I can, because I'm starting to get to that point where I'm now starting to think that we're getting closer and closer and closer to his retirement. I don't want to ever get to that point, but I used to be so proud of the fact that Randy still wrestled while my brother's favorite Edge had to retire. Like, Randy stuck around longer than Edge, even though Edge wrestled, you know, way before Randy. But obviously Edge is back now, so that whole thing is, you know, I can't brag about anymore. But, you know, I look at Randy now as someone that I've admired for so long, and I don't know where, as I said, I wouldn't be where I am now because of him. I wouldn't be where I am now because of him, and I don't know where my future would be with wrestling if he ever did retire. And that's kind of what I look at. I look at Randy as someone that, you know, I look at Randy as someone like, you know, he's the reason I'm here. He is the reason why I am watching this to this very day. And I'm cherishing these moments as much as I can, because I feel like maybe within the next year or 2 or 3, he may go away. So that's why I'm trying to enjoy these moments while he's still around. And, you know, I could go over his whole career if I really wanted to, but maybe that will be a video that I can make when Randy Orton maybe eventually retires. But yeah, Randy Orton has always been someone I've admired for so many years, and yeah, I wouldn't be where I am because of him. So if you guys do like this video, and you like this kind of series, because I might turn this into a series, if you guys like this, and you want me to do more videos like this, going over other wrestlers that I've grown up to like, and how I became fans of them, be sure to let me know. Be sure to let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next future video.